This week's scenario is Destruction from the 2014 Steamroller packet. This scenario does have the Killbox Artifice in effect and consists of a single zone which can be controlled for 1 CP or dominated for 2 CPs. However, this cannot be performed until the enemy objective has been destroyed for 1 CP in the zone. The enemy objective consists of defense of 5, armor 18, and 15 health boxes. The objective also has the asset protection rule. If this model were to be disabled, you may choose a friendly model within 4 inches to be destroyed in its place, allowing you to remove 1 point of damage from the objective.
Hey everybody, this is Solus. This week I'm playing a 35-point Thagrosh the Messiah or E-Thagrosh list. This is pretty much just my 50-point E-Thagrosh list cut down to 35 points. So I pretty much chose this list because it's my go-to 35-point list. I've played it a bunch of times, and E-Thagrosh is one of my favorite casters, so I always say, you know, play what you know, so.
Pokey here. I decided to dust off a old list that I've been keeping a hold of, and that's Lich Lord Venethrax, his tier 4 to the Dragon Slayer one. 35 points. I like it a lot. Plays with a lot of the units and models I like to play with, such as the Seethers and the Bloodgorgers. Love both units. Wish they were a little bit better. It'd be nice if Cryx actually got some Reach Troll models, but I doubt that's going to happen. So I'll just be happy with this.
After winning the role to go first or second, I wanted to go first. His list mainly advanced deploys, so it's very, very fast. So me going first means that I get to move up without being charged or attacked in the first turn, which lets me get a little bit of board presence, hopefully. I am very, very outnumbered, but I have a lot of high power attacks, and with Manifest Destiny I shouldn't have a whole lot of problems hitting him. Pretty much the idea is go up the board and try and set up for my turn 2 and see how deeply I can dig into his lines with my feet.
Alright, because most of the Army Advanced deploys, I will be placing Venethrax, both Seethers, the Skarlock, and the little Deathripper out on the end, kind of centrally located because the zone's in the middle. Alright, now that I get to start putting the rest of the army in because of advanced deployment, because of the small control area for each of the units, you know, because of the command range of only being 8, had to make sure that they all kind of stayed local and central, and also so they could both, you know, get to the zone and, you know, do some blocking. And then of course putting Gerlak behind them for the no sleeping on the job and overtake. And also because of the tier bonus, both Seethers get to make an advanced move. So I moved them up into the gaps that I left in the Bloodgorgers. Alright,
so going into turn 1, I just pretty much start off as I normally do. The Seraph casts Slipstream and advances, and Slipstreams the Scythean a little bit farther up the board. I put Tenacity on the Scythean with the Shredder, who then goes Rabid and just advances. I have the Naga run, and pretty much do the same thing with the other Shredder, put Tenacity up on the Scythean, and then have it go Rabid and advance. At this point, I'm just trying to set up for my second turn, so that if he comes too far forward, I can get off a decent Alpha Strike and hopefully remove some of the Bloodgorgers from the board. So to that end, Thagrosh casts Slipstream, and then advances and advances the Scythean up a little bit, And then he spends a bunch of fury putting out some tenacities, just so I can more or less manage my fury. I have my Scythean run up, not terribly far. I'm trying to stay out of charge range, which isn't terribly hard, but you know, getting charged turn 1 is bad. And then I do the same thing with the other Scythean. My Forsaken walks up and takes off some fury. The Shepherd runs up, walks up, and takes the fury off the Seraph there.
Cryx turn 1 is very simple. I allocate 1 out to my Deathripper. Both Seethers receive their own because of their Seethers, leaving me the ability to camp on quite a few, which is really nice. I like the Seether Jacks. They are very efficient in my opinion. Have a decent mat, decent POW, you know, standard defense and arm for Cryx. But I'm going to go ahead and start with the Bloodgorgers on the top of the screen. They're going to receive the order to run, and pretty much I get that one sacrificial guy out there, and I get another sacrificial guy out there, because I'm just trying to make it to where it doesn't make it easy for him to come and just get me. So I get the 2 out there, and I get the other ones kind of postured behind, hoping that I can get them to you know, get into a good position for charging. The Seether advances, keeping out of the threat range, and then the other Bloodgorgers, they also take the run order, and I run the one up to be sacrificial, the other one behind the objective, and the others just kind of pile on up there. Gerlak Slaughterborn, he kind of gets up there behind the units to give them the no sleeping on the job. The other Seether advances, and now the Skarlock advances, and I'm trying to decide if I want to put Soul Harvest up, because I thought I could use it for his beasts, but unfortunately it's for warrior models only. But what else is the Skarlock to do? So I went ahead and left him in there, and I went ahead and did it anyways. It made no difference. I then activate Venethrax. He puts Dragon Slayer on himself because it's a self-only spell, which is really nice. +2 strength, +2 arm, and he gets to reave the fury from any Legion beast that he kills.
Alright, so going into turn 2, he's set up fairly far forward. I mean, he was almost halfway up the board anyway. So I have to try and clear out some of the zones so that I don't let him start scoring on his turn. Unfortunately, with the amount of models that he has and the amount of models I have, that's going to be a little bit difficult. So first things first, I fix my fury, or I leech my fury, and then I just have the Naga advances and tries to shoot one of the Bloodgorgers in the zone, and I boost a hit, hoping to not miss, but unfortunately I do. So the Seraph advances after casting Slipstream, and then slipstreams the Scythean a little bit far forward, and then proceeds to shoot. But he makes his tough roll, and then he makes his tough roll, and then I finally kill him. So there's a decent-sized hole there. I just need to get a couple more guys, hopefully out of the way, and I'll have a good charge lane for that Scythean to hit the Seether on the hill. So I have E-Thagrosh advance after casting Slipstream, and then I Slipstream the Scythean a little bit farther forward. I go ahead and pop my feet and put out some tenacity. Then I spray, trying to clear off some guys. Unfortunately, I miss the 2 guys on the hill. But I managed to clip the Seether, so I do nothing to it, though. So I just have my Scythean advance and make attacks. With Manifest Destiny up, it's a little bit easier to hit stuff and make sure that they die. He doesn't make any tough checks, so that's good. I go ahead and have my Scythean charge the Seether on the hill, because that's a decent pocket, so if I can get Bloodbath off, I'm going to hit a bunch of stuff. So at POW 17, it's straight dice, so it does some decent damage. I boost my next attack, and I miss. So that means no Bloodbath, which is really, really bad. So now that means that the Scythean is sort of stuck. The idea was kill everything up there and then retreat a little bit, but that's not going to happen. So I have the Shredder go Rabid, advance, and put Tenacity on the Scythean, and then do the same thing with the other Shredder. So the Shepherd advances, takes the Fury off the Seraph, and then the Forsaken walks up and takes the Fury off of the Shredder on my left flank. So with that, my feat triggers, and I have one of the Scythians advance backwards, just trying to keep him safe, more or less. Then I have the Shredder advance and try and block off the other Seether, and bites it and maybe does some damage, but nothing terribly great. So the Naga advances into the zone. Seraph walks up and tries to block off a charge lane. Pretty much do the same thing with the other Shredder, who bites at the one Bloodgorger there, who doesn't make a tough check. So, and then my Scythean goes and just hits the Seether, trying to do some more damage to it. So all in all, missing that second attack for the chain attack, or to give me the chain attack was really, really bad. I think on 4 dice I rolled a grand total of 5. So yeah, that means that my Scythean is stuck, and it puts me in a really, really bad position right now.
Okay, that turn Soulless just had goes to prove dice can be fickle. We were playing last week, and the exact opposite happened. He could not fail to hit, kill, make a tough check. We went through this entire game of 50-point battle, and he just blew me away, and it was all straight dice. But now, anyways, my turn. I didn't upkeep the Soul Harvest because it made no sense. I did upkeep Dragon Slayer. I am allocating out focus to my jacks. My one Slayer is down to a Cortex and 2 other arm boxes. So he has 1 damaged arm, and I figured I'd just go ahead and do him right now. Start with my damaged box, my damaged arm, which misses. My good arm hits, and I just start spending and buying attacks against the Carnivian. I get my Tusk attack in there, of course, because that's another thing that's good about the Seethers, is they have their 2 claws plus the Tusks. Makes a great, really great jack. And the point reduction for the tier list makes it even better, in my opinion. So I go through, spend all my focus, blowing it on trying to kill off the one model. Activate Gerlak. He then gets his charge. He gets to make his swing. Thank goodness, he hits because of a high mat, and because he was already damaged, it was, damage off. An extra dice basically makes him a weapon master if it's already damaged, but he didn't kill it, so there's no overtake, no next swing, no nothing else. So that was the end for him, but I did put a serious hurt between the 2 models, a serious hurt on his beast. Now I take Venethrax, who still has Dragon Slayer up. I have him come in, charge the beast. I hit, and because he's who he is, and he does not like Legion. He ends up killing him, and I end up getting my, the fury from that beast becomes my focus. I then take that focus, and because of how close I am to his caster, I'm hoping I can keep his caster from doing too much. So I end up casting Lamentation. I probably should have popped Feet at this point in time, hoping I can kill some stuff and put up clouds. But I didn't. And this is where I'm kind of hemming and hawing, deciding, do I really want Dragon Slayer or Lamentation? Because if that Carnivian gets in there, not the Carnivian, the Scythean gets in there, it's going to hurt bad. So I go ahead and I put up Lamentation. And hopefully that will keep his caster pushed back. Because any of the things his caster cast, any of the anima his caster puts out there, counts as spells, costs double. Hopefully that also does Manifest Destiny, or his, I got the boosted to hit, Signs Importance, I'm all happy stuff. Now I'm checking for my one unit. I'm trying to get to where I can charge, activate that unit. I would really like to charge the Naga, and whatever else I can charge. With them having +2 for charging living models, it makes it to where they can charge 10 inches with their half-inch melee. But I got to make sure they all stay in command. And that gentleman, he fails his charge, which sucks because no gang. But it is turn 2, so people start charging the objective, and then of course the little shredder that's blocking my way, because nobody likes a shredder in your face. And the last guy runs. So I get 2 models on his beasts that do not get gang because nobody was close enough. But I do roll and put some damage out there. I end up killing off the objective. And right now I'm just really focused on wiping out as much as I can. Crippling as much as I can. Blocking as much as I can out of that zone. Because if I can take out the Naga and that Shredder, I get another control point for having the zone. Which those guys are able to go ahead and kill off that one Shredder that's in the zone. So now it's a matter of, can I take out the Naga? So I roll off on the other ones, and of course no damage there. Then I roll off on the Naga and, get some damage put there, but not a whole bunch, just some. And now it's up to the other unit to figure out what the other unit's going to do to get them in there to hopefully get them to do some damage. Because my other Seether is locked in combat with a Shredder. Shredder's blocking his charge lane. If it was not for that Shredder, he probably would have been going in for that Scythean. But now we're checking for line of sight to make sure that I have certain models that can see his certain models. I know some of the guys can't see, others can, but I got to do what I can to try to go through and get gang and kill things. So first things first, they take the run charge order. That guy decides he's going to run, so he runs up 5, and then 5 more right in front of E-Thagrosh, blocking that charge lane. Next guy, he's going to come in. We're just placing the proxy base, so I have my line, I have my distance, and we are good. So I go ahead and place him where he's supposed to be. Now this unit's been really weathered down, really kind of brought low, because, well, not really low, but they've been, they've taken some damage from the previous turn. Both units really have. So it'll be interesting to see what the rest of them do. And this other guy, he tries to charge. The Scythean falls short. Right now I'm ended up making a nice little U shape for him to come up and hopefully do his get his bloodbath going, which is going to suck for me. And then I run this other guy, and then I charge this other guy up, trying to get my 3 to get the pretty much gang. I'm going for gang is what I'm going for. So it moves up, and now it's the dice rolls. With the Bloodgorgers, gang is a really important thing. It brings them from a 6 to an 8, and it makes them POW total PNS POW 13 with gang, which is really nice when they charge. And between the two that were able to charge, they were able to finish off the Naga. And then the other one, he swings on the Shredder. Not able to kill it off, but he did put some damage on it. So that means now I have to take my Seether that is fully loaded. I think I actually put one too many focus points on him, but it doesn't matter. I didn't need them all. So that is a mistake that I put in there. I accidentally gave him one too many. For some odd reason, I was thinking Bonded and Deathjack, where he gets his, and then plus some extra one. And then the Skarlock runs up into the front to block off Venethrax.
So my opponent's turn 2 was just as bad as I figured it was going to be. I lost a lot of my beasts. I think at this point I'm down to pretty much Thags, a Seraph, a Scythean, the Shepherd, and the Forsaken. So I've lost a lot of my heavy hitting power, and he is currently up on 2 control points. So not the situation I really want to be in at this point. So I go ahead, I leech my Fury, and I spend a lot of time this turn trying to figure out exactly how to get myself out of this mess. Unfortunately, at this point, it's more, I think I can stall him winning for a turn or two, but unless things start going my way, it's going to be really, really hard. The downfall of this army is that it really relies on E-Thagrosh being able to sort of skew the dice a little bit with Manifest Destiny, but since Venethrax has Lamentation, that means that I'm going to be spending 6 Fury if I want to cast it, and that means that E-Thagrosh is pretty much not going to do anything, so or anything else. So the other idea is advance backwards, but it becomes a problematic with positioning. So I go ahead and start off my turn by the Scythean advancing and just hitting some guys, trying to clear off E-Thagrosh a little bit. So he was kind of stuck unless I wanted to take a free strike, which is not necessarily what I want to do. So the Scythean is fairly good at clearing stuff off. I eventually cast my Animus and start removing Bloodgorgers just straight off the board. Clears off like 3 or 4 Bloodgorgers, which is good. So right now I have this idea, but I'm not sure that it's going to work, but we'll find out. So I have my Seraph cast Slipstream, and then advance a little bit towards E-Thagrosh, enough to get within 2 inches of him to trigger it, and then advances back, and then tries to hit some of the 2 Bloodgorgers that are standing in front of him, which he ends up killing both, which is good. The weight of models on my opponent's side of the board is still bad for me, but I at least have removed a fair number of them. So I go ahead and charge one of the Bloodgorgers in my way with my Forsaken, boost my attack roll, and then manages to kill it with the boosted damage roll from the charge attack. So it's at this point I'm measuring pretty much 8 inches of my control area. I'm trying to figure out, since E-Thagrosh is only speed 5, I can charge over the models in my way, of course taking free strikes, but if I can find a decent place to land, I may be able to get to Venethrax. However, I'm just a little bit short, especially since I'm on a large base. It becomes a little bit awkward trying to find decent landing spots. so it doesn't look like it's going to work. I end up just moving Thagrosh over and trying to spray a couple of Bloodgorgers. I know that he's going to get charged next turn, but if I can hopefully reduce the number of attacks that are coming at me, that'll be helpful. So I managed to hit a couple of them, not as many as I wanted, but there it is. So yeah, and at this point there's not a whole lot to do with my fury, so I just end up spending 4 of it and putting Dragon's Blood on the Seraph. Also at this point I've realized that, like an idiot, I have forgotten to put stuff in the zone, or forgotten to have put more resilient models in the zone. So, as sort of a last-ditch effort, I run my Shepherd into the zone.
Okay, with me having 2 control points from killing the objective and my models being in the zone last turn, all I have to do now is clear the zone, get my caster in there, and I'll get 4, which means I have to figure out how to protect my caster and get him in the zone. So with that, I start allocating out my focus, hoping that I can get some stuff just to die, because it just needs to die. I take the Skarlock. I attempt to use his ability to cast a spell at the Forsaken, and I end up missing her. I'm needing a 7 to hit. As you can tell, I didn't roll a 7. So now I got to figure out the sequence to do what I need to do. So the Seether activates next, not taking a free strike from the Forsaken, charges in, and just starts to swing on the Scythean, and just pretty much spinning everything I can and not dropping him. I put a nice hurt on him, dropping him down to where he's 1 functional spiral, I believe, by the time it's all said and done. But those damage rolls are, some are good, some are bad. That's where the dice are fickle. Sometimes the dice are with you, sometimes the dice aren't. This time they weren't with me enough to drop him. But POW 16 versus ARM 19, even at 18, I think, 18 or 19, I don't remember if he had tenacity up, makes it tough. Now the Bloodgorgers activate, they're going to charge in. Trying to do what they can to kill people, getting gang and all the other happy stuff. And so with that one running, I was able to engage both the Scythean and the Forsaken. So they're both going to be under gang, so that makes me a mat 8. So I start on the Scythean, do my swings there, not enough to kill him, but enough to do some damage. Then I swing on the Forsaken, still not able to kill her, and on the Shepherd I am able to hit her, and I just pretty much just kill her outright. So that Forsaken is still blocking me. I still have to figure out how to get rid of that Forsaken. With my movement out on my Seether, I have to advance him and just start swinging on the Seraph. But I end up missing with the bad arm. The tusks miss. This is where the dice just don't like me. because this Seraph just does not want to die. He does not want to get hit. He doesn't want to get knocked out of the game. I understand it, but you know, I am able to, you know, to put at least hit him once. So that's a bonus for me. Now Gerlak activates. He charges, gets in there to where he just is in reach. He swings, he hits, and not a lot of damage. Not a lot of damage. But, you know, he's a good secondary piece because he does end up bringing some damage with him because of the finisher. Now the Bloodgorgers activate. The other unit of Bloodgorgers activate. They receive the order to charge. They charge in both getting gang, and the other one charges his caster, E-Thagrosh, and I start my swings there. Start on the Seraph first, because I just want it to die now. I mean, I'm upset. I need it to die. It just needs to just go away. Leave me alone. But unfortunately, I am able to do it. Fortunately, I'm able to do it. And now I swing on his caster, do a couple points of damage. Next guy swings and is able to do at least 5 points of damage. And he ends up pooping out one of those little stinger guys. Hate those little stinger guys. You know, they have that whole, hey, if I hit you, I get to, you know, basically poison and lose my body, but I get an additional die and blah, blah, blah. Oh, I hate playing against those things. So mean. But I end up completing my turn, doing some, you know, he ends up transferring some damage over to the Scythean. Now it's up to my caster. He ends up charging the Forsaken because that Forsaken has to die. So I charge it. I boost it to hit because I need to hit her. I hit her, and then it's like plus something dice, and so I end up killing her, and then the Arc Node moves around to hopefully block some more lanes.
Okay, so my turn 4. Things are really, really bad. And unfortunately, at this point, I don't really see any way to stop my opponent from scoring this turn, or if at least I can stop him from scoring this turn. Excuse me, but I don't see any way that I can stop him from actually winning the game. The weight of models is just a little bit too much for me. So anyway, I go ahead, I leech my fury, have my stinger, just walk around and attack Gerlak. It's not anything terribly important, but it's, you know, moral victory for me at this point. So, it ends up hitting, and he fails his tough check, so that's always nice. So I go ahead with E-Thagrosh, and I advance. I don't want to take a free strike here, so I just advance to the edge of that one Bloodgorger's range. Unfortunately, that means I miss the Seether, but I do end up killing, you know, 2 guys. I go ahead and buy another attack, trying to kill that one guy, but not gonna be able to. So, the Scythean advance is over. I spent a couple of fury to heal it, so it's good. And then it just starts hitting stuff. So, I hit the damage Seether first, which is probably not the best idea, but I figured I didn't want E-Thagrosh to get squished by it, but my first damage roll kills it, so I don't get to try for the chain attack. But it does eventually remove a couple of other Bloodgorgers and does some superficial damage to the Seether. So, good news for me is my opponent has very, very little time left on his clock. Bad news for me is the only thing that I have in the zone is a stinger.
Alright, with me having all my points already, and I'm almost out of time, I have to make this a quick turn. I have like less than 2 minutes. And he's the only model in the zone, the little half guy. He's within my reach, so I go ahead and drop Lamentation. I don't allocate, I move around. I try to kill him with hit him with a spell, miss him. I then activate him, get him out of the way, and because I am running out of time, I've just moved the Bloodgorgers out of the way, hopefully blocking him in, and then I take him and I have him put up Dragon Slayer, charge, and then I hit, and I'm at plus like 3 or something like that, finish him off, and I get my final points to win by scenario.